The forest was quiet except for the chatter of two sparrows perched on a swaying branch. Nearby, a pair of deer stood at the edge of the pond, one drinking, the other watchful, ears twitching at every rustle. High above, the sun hung veiled behind clouds, casting a dull light over the hills. Among them stood a ruined house, its walls crumbling, surrounded by the skeletal remains of felled trees. Inside, the sick lay strewn across the broken floor, bodies gaunt, clothes stiff with filth. A murmur passed between them, saying that there were many empty houses in that small forest town and perhaps they should try their luck there. Others warned that the rumors claimed it was haunted, daring anyone unafraid of death to go ahead. No one moved. Their weakened forms stayed slumped where they lay. In the dimmest corner, a housefly buzzed over the last scrap of food in a bowl. Before lifting into the air, it landed on a bony hand, its veins gray and taut beneath the skin. An old man beside it spoke to the young man, noting that he had been like that for days now. Whatever was weighing on him, the old man advised, he should let it go. The man's breath came heavy, the tendons in his neck straining. His vision swam as the words echoed in his skull. Let it go? Yes, what else could he do? In his state, revenge was impossible. Swallowing this bitterness might at least bring him peace, but he couldn't accept it. Sworn brotherhood, hidden blades behind their smiles. He had fallen right into their trap. The old man poured water into his parched mouth. Then, snow had begun to fall. A frown creased his weathered face as he looked up at the cloud-choked sky. He muttered in disbelief that it had just been sunny, wondering since when snow came so suddenly. The flakes drifted down, silent and strange. He watched them, uneasy. No wonder everything had gone odd lately, he remarked to no one in particular. Maplewood was as restless as a trapped animal these days. His gaze sharpened. Something was wrong. Why were some of them glowing? Slowly, he reached out, finger extended toward one shimmering crystal. The moment it made contact. Crack. On the branch, one sparrow froze mid-chirp, now a tiny statue of frost. Its companion tilted its head in confusion. By the river, one of the deer froze solid, while the other, seeing this, panicked and scurried away. Then, the old man himself was encased in ice. His eyes remained open, his hand still outstretched. A sharp snap echoed as the frozen statue lost its balance. It toppled headfirst and shattered into hundreds of pieces. The lying man had watched it all unfold, with eerie stillness. A cold realization slithered through his mind. These were no ordinary snowflakes. Each one carried the killing intent of the Tao. A single touch meant death. A glimmering crystal drifted toward his face. He didn't flinch. He only closed his eyes. There was no struggle, no last defiance. Forget it. I shall embrace my death, he thought. Then the sky boomed. A meteorite ripped through the clouds like a vengeful star, screaming toward the ruined house. The impact split the earth, hurling stone and splintered timber in a molten wave. Scalding winds atomized the cursed snow. The blast shredded cloth and snapped ancient oaks like kindling. At ground zero, a firestorm raged, lashing at the air itself. Half buried in debris, the prone man turned his head toward the inferno. One thought cleaved through the chaos. Such potent Tao resonance. Who is it? He wondered. As the flames peeled back, the crater's heart revealed a figure. Zuo Guangli of Chu Nation. His armor gleamed, his crimson cape snapping like a battle standard in the superheated wind. He stood unshaken, his glare burning a challenge into the heavens as his voice shook the ruins. He demanded to know whether indiscriminate slaughter was their so-called Tao. Above, the hovering ranks of cultivators parted. From their midst glided Gong Yangbai of Qin Nation, face pale as frost, his unbound hair swirling in an icy halo. He stepped forward, his voice dripping with iciness as he mocked Zuo Guangli's words. Had he heard correctly? Did Zuo Guangli, in his lofty eyes, even consider the lives of ants as lives? The hovering cultivators moved as one, their hands flashing in perfect union as they invoked the myriad streams of sword rain. The air itself shivered as countless glacial arrows materialized, their razor tips glinting with killing intent before descending in a blizzard of death aimed directly at Zuo Guangli. He didn't retreat. Instead, fire erupted in his palm, a writhing miniature sun, as he unleashed his blazing sun technique. With a ground-cracking pivot, he hurled it upward. The collision was annihilation. The fireball expanded violently, evaporating the icy arrows upon contact. Steam erupted as the inferno raged onward with unstoppable momentum. Above, the cultivators' faces twisted in disbelief. Their combined strike, a technique that rivaled A-grade Daoist arts, had been nullified so effortlessly. Gong Yangbai's lips parted as he drew a long, slow breath, the gathering cold making the air itself brittle. Then he unleashed his one-breath exhale frost technique. The world whitened, the air crystallized in its path. Even Zuo Guangli's blazing sun, frozen mid-eruption, was sliced cleanly in half as it descended. Zuo Guangli was already moving, his sword unsheathing in a crescent of fire, while his free hand launched searing flames at Gong Yangbai. When suddenly, his eyes caught something amiss. A razor-edged blade streaked from the heavens toward Zuo Guangli. He twisted midair, the weapon grazing past as he landed, blades taller than a man impaling the earth around him. The impact quaked the ground, sending dust pluming skyward. When it settled, Zuo Guangli stood unscathed, his sword ablaze amidst a forest of gleaming steel. Above, the mechanized shriek of folding wings. Mo Jingyu of the Mo family hovered astride his blade-winged construct, eyes like polished daggers. With clinical admiration, he remarked how terrifying it was that Zuo could endure the 9-yin profound malice's soul-flaying agony without faltering. No wonder Qin had begged for their involvement. Zuo's response came like an earthquake. The earth shattered as he launched upward on a pillar of fire, his roar tearing across the battlefield as he bellowed Mo Jingyu's name. Gong Yangbai's command cracked through the chaos like a whip, ordering his disciples to close all openings and form their formation immediately. Zuo Guangli propelled himself higher on jets of flame, breaching the fog layer only to be met by a ring of cultivators. Their synchronized hand seals pulsed with eerie blue light as their chant reached a crescendo. With a sickening pop, veins bulged like worms beneath their skin, their eyes sinking into black voids as cerulean energy vomited from their gaping mouths. Gong Yangbai caught the coalescing power, his lips peeling back from his teeth as he taunted the Flame General about being bored. With a downward slash of his arms, he unleashed the River of Endless Regret. The energy liquefied, splintering into 1,000 serpentine segments that crashed down with mountain-crushing weight before reassembling into endless lengths of fanged, watery coils. They sped towards Zuo Guangli, lashing around his legs, yet he didn't strike. He knew cleaving them would be futile. Sever one, and 2 more would spawn. But then a serpent struck, its fangs sinking deep into his shoulder as icy fire flooded his meridians. It was a profound yin invasion, severing his Dao circulation. Gong Yangbai was already inhaling, the air itself crystallizing around him as he prepared his second breath blood freeze. The snakes were glazed over with ice, the cold climbing Zuo Guangli's body from the wounds. Without pause, Gong Yangbai continued with his third breath rigid death. Mo Jingyu circled the frozen tableau, murmuring how this outcome confirmed the Gongyang clan's guarded secret arts power. Even Zuo Guangli stood powerless against it now. Zuo Guangli remained entombed, a glacier of coiled serpents tightening around his immobilized form as fresh waves slithered closer. Above, the cultivators maintained their formation, watching. A sunburst had detonated within the glacial prison. Gong Yangbai's fingers trembled violently as his hand seal fractured, veins bulging along his forearms. With an earth-shaking bang, the frozen serpents exploded into icy shards. At the epicenter stood Zuo Guangli, now wreathed in crimson vapor, his very blood boiling from the unleashed technique, boiling blood, burning soul. Mo Jingyu reacted first. His mechanical bird's wings shrieked open as he unleashed the flying eagle blade feathers technique, sending a deadly hailstorm of blades raining downward. Zuo Guangli's eyes blazed with fury. With a mere flick of his wrist, he sent a precision flame beam lancing upward to strike the mechanical bird construct. As Mo Jingyu leapt free, Zuo Guangli raised his flaming hand and roared the command, "Explode!" The sky quaked under deafening detonations as chain reaction fireballs bloomed across the battlefield, their shockwaves flattening the treetops below. Gong Yangbai could only stare in disbelief at how his 9-yin profound malice had been broken. Then the true descent began. Countless golden blossoms drifted downward, radiant with lethal heat in Zuo Guangli's signature, city-scorching blazing blossoms technique. The cultivators initially smiled in confusion, with one cockily reaching out to intercept what he dismissed as a mere third-grade Daoist art. His extended hand touched the golden blossom and disintegrated to charred bone in a heartbeat. Gong Yongbai snapped into action, his hands weaving defensive seals as he berated his disciples' foolishness. He ordered immediate activation of water element Dao arts to carve out a safe zone, prompting torrents of water energy to surge around them. Mid-fall, Mo Jingyu yanked control strings from his backpack, releasing flocks of mechanical crows that diverted blossoms into collision courses. The resulting explosions created a cataclysmic ballet. Fire blossoms, exploding birds, and steam geysers intertwining under pyrocumulus darkened clouds. As rain began to fall, drenching the ruined house and trees, the prone man's upturned face caught the deluge. His whispered question about their true identities. Zuo Guangli hung suspended at the storm's epicenter, a living pyre wreathed in flames. Fire danced from his hair, blazed within his pupils, and seeped through the seams of his armor. Each exhale flash-boiled the surrounding rain into a seething corona of vapor as he invoked his ultimate technique: extreme flames, scorching heavens, boiling seas. The battlefield trembled under the invocation's power. Fire erupted from Zuo's mouth in a geyser as he roared his summons to Ancestor Zhurong, manifest. From his outstretched arms uncoiled twin colossal dragons of flame, their scales shimmering with star-forged heat. When he commanded them to burn, the fire serpents transformed into conscious wildfires with terrifying purpose. The devastation came in relentless waves. Cultivators perished in chained explosions, mere contact with the dragon's wingtip causing victims to erupt into human torches, their screams cut short as the flames immediately sought new targets. The lead dragon surged toward Gong Yongbai with lethal intent. A metallic shriek pierced the chaos as Mo Jingyu intercepted, his bladed wings folding into a defense shield just in time. The collision generated explosive force. The impact sent both defenders crashing through half a mile of forest, leaving molten trenches in their wake, yet somehow they managed to rise, their boots carving smoking furrows in the liquefied earth. Gong Yongbai's smoldering robes clung to him as he cursed in disbelief, unable to comprehend how Zuo Guanglie had obtained the seed of Zhurong, or how he could manifest the fire god's true form with such terrifying completeness. Mo Jingyu's mechanical wings dripped molten slag as he assessed the catastrophic damage, a muttered curse escaping his lips. Before he could react, the very earth trembled violently beneath them. Mo Jingyu's eyes widened in shock as he registered the approaching threat. Through the billowing smoke emerged Zuo Guangli, each footfall more terrifying than the last. With every step, bedrock split apart with thunderous cracks. Wherever he trod, his footprints bubbled into seething lava pools. Each breath he exhaled unfurled into raging firestorms that scorched the air itself. Zuo challenged them both by name, commanding Gong Yongbai and Mo Jingyu to face him. Behind him towered the nightmarish manifestation of Zhurong's avatar, a being of apocalyptic majesty. Its wild crown burned with living flames, its eyes glowed like dying stars collapsing inward, and its massive arms were entwined with the twin fire dragons that had wrought such destruction. The divine entity's mere presence proved devastating, surrounding stones liquefied into lava pools simply from its proximity. Zuo's mocking laughter shattered what remained of the battlefield's stability as he derided their claims of lineage and genius, questioning their audacity to stand against him. As Zhurong's avatar advanced, reality itself seemed to warp. The air shimmered with violent heat distortion while the very ground and atmosphere melted away beneath the godly being's overwhelming presence. Gong Yongbai's hands moved into a defensive seal as he steeled his resolve. Though Zuo Guangli had manifested Zhurong's true form, he convinced himself his third breath technique, the power of profound freeze, could withstand even this. But his confidence shattered as the air became unbearably arid, his breath catching in his parched throat. His lips split like sun-baked clay as he clutched at his neck, coughing violently. Nearby, Mo Jingyu's blades trembled in their braces as he shouted to Gong Yongbai, questioning whether they should retreat. Zuo Guangli's voice thundered across the battlefield like a death knell, declaring the River Valley defeat inevitable. No waters could cleanse this national disgrace or personal vendetta. As he spoke, a single tear traced his cheek before vaporizing mid-descent. Zuo's mad laughter dispersed the falling rain into nothingness as he proclaimed that only he could kill Zuo Guangli. Only Zhurong could claim his soul. Flames coiled around his upturned face as he challenged anyone present to strike off his head if they dared. The attack came unseen, a blade of pure Dao, intent that simply was, then wasn't. Zuo's severed head tumbled to Gong Yongbai's feet, still wreathed in defiant flames, the eyes burning with unbroken will. Then the sky itself erupted in cataclysm. The sonic boom had shattered every eardrum present. When the blinding light cleared, a single figure hovered motionless in the air, Li Yi of Jing. His sword remained sheathed, his hands clasped calmly behind his back, appearing as if he'd never moved at all. Gong Yongbai's throat constricted in recognition as he gasped Li Yi's name. The legendary swordsman didn't even turn to face them, merely uttering a dismissive "too noisy" that carried unnatural weight. Regaining composure, Gong Yongbai cautiously invoked the authority of His Highness Yingwu, but before he could finish, Li Yi turned his head just slightly. Minuscule movement alone sent invisible blades of intent slicing through the air around them. The message was clear: linger any longer, and death would follow. Gong Yongbai hastily grabbed Zuo Guangli's still burning head, and the surviving cultivators scattered like frightened crows. Li Yi paid no further attention to their retreat. His focus shifted to Zuo Guangli's headless body that remained standing defiantly, flames still raging undiminished. Then, he took out a token from his sleeve. As he regarded the corpse, its emerald eyes pulsed with residual energy before exploding into ash with a final declaration that their debt was settled. Observing the headless pyre that had been Zuo Guangli's body, Li Yi curled one hand into a lens-like shape, peering through it with a slight tilt of his head. With a simple, uttered boom, the corpse erupted violently, a geyser of flame and flesh sending burning chunks raining across the devastated battlefield. The scene faded on Li Yi's unsettling, sinister smile. That's all for this Crimson Heart Wanderer recap. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like or subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next chapter. Take care.